Kia ora and welcome along to the national forecast from Met Service. Now, as we've ticked over into August, our weather has definitely taken a turn for the worst, at least for the next couple of days. The good news is, towards the end of the week, things are looking much better, but to get there, we've got some fairly severe weather to watch out for. We've got some fairly strong winds pushing right the way across the South Island, even reaching scale or even severe gale in the most exposed areas through parts of Southland and Otago, and even towards parts of Canterbury. And that transfers towards the North Island as we head through the night time and on in towards Wednesday. And we're also going to see the return of some cold weather back behind these fronts and the return of some fairly low snow down the far south as well. As we go through the rest of today, for Tuesday, you can see this rain moves northwards up the South Island, heaviest on that western coast, but even out towards the east we'll find some patchy rain running up through there. There's white areas showing the return of that snowfall up that central spine. That snow level really dropping down though as we head through the night time. So overnight tonight, Tuesday in towards the early hours of Wednesday, that snowfall really lowering, particularly down to the far south, with some snowfall back down to low levels there. And you can see we've got really strong northwesterlies ahead of this feature, and we're finding the winds swinging around to southwesterlies as we head in towards tomorrow. So we've still got more severe weather watches and warnings to come. As we carry on through the night time, you can see that rainfall moves up towards the North Island, some really heavy bursts, some thunderstorms with that as well. As we go through in towards the morning time, it's cleared away from the likes of, say, Wellington and the South Island, but we've got this steady stream of showers feeding up from the south, and those showers in the south will have a distinctly wintry feel to them, with that snow level dropping right the way down to around about 100 or 200 metres through parts of Southland and Otago. And with those strong, even gale force southwesterlies still with us, we'll find it really is a colder feeling day down through the likes of, say, the Otago Peninsula. But I think it's definitely worth bearing in mind we could find some snowfall about those higher passes and even down to around about 200 or 300 metres in the far south. So we have got some severe weather watches and warnings in place. Now, we've got a warning out for, a watch out for that heavy rainfall on the western coast, parts of Western, particularly up towards the ranges south of Otira, and some of that rain will feed across in towards the headwaters of the Canterbury lakes and rivers. We can see though we've got warnings out for that windfall right the way from Southland, Otago, up in towards Canterbury, towards Marlborough, Wellington, and even in towards Wairarapa. Head along to the Met Service website for the latest information on the timings of those. But you can see we've also got watches out for the rest of the Canterbury area in towards Banks Peninsula, also in towards Hawke's Bay and Gisborne, Tairafti, and even in towards Auckland as we go through the daytime on Wednesday. The other thing to watch out for, a watch for snowfall, with that snowfall really dropping down as we go through in towards the early hours of the morning for Wednesday. The heaviest snow above about 500 metres, but we could well find that's enough to impact some of those roads. And I think we will find even perhaps a flurry or two around about, like, so say, the motorway around Dunedin and up and towards the Crown Range Road as well. So do keep an eye on those higher passes. As we go through in towards Wednesday, they will find that heavy rainfall pulls away. Behind it, really strong, gusty southwesterly winds bring with them some fairly hefty showers around that western side of the North Island. You can see down south we start to find an improvement in the weather. We'll keep hold of that core of really strong gale force southwesterlies through Banks Peninsula, skirting the Kaikoura coast and up in towards that Wairarapa as well. And you can see that still skirts around Mahia, bringing with it a few showers. And again, you can see we've got some snowfall about the tops of the Desert Road in towards perhaps the Taurua Range, parts of the Kaikoura Ranges, and again still down the south. So we are going to find, although those showers start to peter out, they've got a still wintry feel to them as we go through the daytime. Let's have a look at the weather on the North Island. You can see we have that band of really heavy rainfall to start with, some snow about the Desert Road, worth bearing in mind for those trips across the Central Plateau. That rain pulls away, but we've still got this steady stream of showers feeding in from the southwest, and some of those could be fairly heavy, perhaps with a rumble of thunder, especially around that western coast. You can see we don't lose that cold air. We've still got some snowfall about those higher passes, above about 600 or 700 metres, but that's still low enough to give an impact on the Desert Road. You can see by the end of the night we start to find those showers dying out across those central parts. Still with that core of strong winds though, out towards either side of the country. But I think we are going to find most of those showers clipping the likes of, say, Wairarapa as we go through the night time. And again, that snow level lowering down to about 500 metres as we go through the night. So it really will be a cold feeling night, but still a fairly windy one to come. In terms of our temperatures, as we go through the daytime, highs of around about 11 degrees Celsius for Taupo, 12 or so for Wellington, but with those strong winds, both northwesterlies and southwesterlies, it will feel much colder. 17 or so for the likes of Napier, but I don't think it'll feel quite as nice as that, as we are still going to find rather blustery, but some of the better weather perhaps around those areas, at least to start with, before that rain pushes up from the south. As we go down towards the South Island, we're going to find those strong winds still with us around the likes of Banks Peninsula and skirting around that corner. You can see pushing through a fair number of wintry showers, perhaps falling as snow in towards places like Queenstown, and perhaps even some snowfall, at least first thing, around the likes of, say, Invercargill or even in towards Dunedin as well. That snow level lifting a little bit as we go through the daytime, but I think generally it is going to be a showery story. Those showers should start to ease away as we go through the daytime, but you can see we keep hold of that steady stream of southerlies in towards Banks Peninsula, bringing with it some showers there. Snow levels around the peninsula itself, around perhaps the Port Hills, perhaps down to around about 400 metres or so, but I think we should find, if you're in towards Christchurch, most of the showers out towards the east of you. If you're looking for best of the weather, head towards that western coast, early showers clearing away, and we are for a fine looking day there for the likes of, say, Westland and even up in towards Nelson. More cloud around the Kaikoura coast and still some snow showers pushing in towards the ranges there, and still rather windy as you head down towards the coast as well. In terms of our temperatures, single figures down in the south, 7s and 8s for the likes of, say, Invercargill and Dunedin. As we head up towards the north, the best we can do, around about 12 degrees Celsius, and in a cold night as we head through into the early hours of Thursday. So how are things looking for the second half of the week? Well, you can see that low pressure that's bringing us wet weather still sits towards the Chatham Islands, brings some more windy and unsettled weather for you. But generally the weather across most of New Zealand is improving as we head through towards the end of the week. So for Thursday and Friday, everything starts to improve. We'll keep hold of a few showers around that eastern coast for Thursday, but as that high pressure becomes more dominant as we head into Friday and Saturday, we'll generally look at things becoming drier, brighter, and those winds easing off as well. That's it from me. This is from metservice.com.